Welcome back, Fantasy Endgame community. I'm Pierre, he's Chris. We're here to talk about wide receivers that we love heading into 2022 fantasy football season. I know it's still a long offseason to go, but these are guys we are targeting now in best ball. We're going to target early in our drafts and we think could be league winners. All right, Chris, start us off. Who's your first wide receiver that you are in love with?
Well, every year there seems to be a guy going in that fourth, kind of fifth round range who busts out and wins people leagues. And I think this year it's going to be Michael Pittman. First of all, he got away from Carson Wentz, which right there, that was a huge plus. But then he added Matt Ryan as his quarterback. And sure, Matt Ryan might not be a great real life quarterback anymore. But one thing about Matt Ryan is he will force feed one guy. We have seen this throughout his career, right? First it was Julio, then it was Ridley. Even last year, when Ridley decided to stop playing football, it was Kyle Pitts. It's easy to look at Kyle Pitts and think, oh, he didn't have a great year, but he had almost 70 catches and 1,000 yards as a rookie. Those are incredible numbers. Even if he was a wide receiver, those are incredible numbers. So I think this is a huge upgrade for Michael Pittman. He's going to see a ton of targets in this offense, and he's got the exact progression you want for a third-year breakout wide receiver, right? As a rookie, started slow, came on strong in the second half. Last year, had almost 90 catches, almost 1,100 yards, and 6 touchdowns with Carson Wentz as his quarterback. He's going to blow those numbers out of the water. He's an absolute steal at his ADP right now. I think he's truly going to be a league winner by season's end.
Yeah, look, I'm right there with you on Pittman. The only thing that might make me back off a little is if they happen to draft a wide receiver early. Some rumors that they might because they're pretty solid everywhere else. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger that early. But even so, given the fact people aren't really on him, I still think I'll have a lot of Pittman this year in drafts. And I know I'm going to have a lot more Amari Cooper than I've ever had because, well, let's face it, the last couple of years, he was okay. He was kind of one of those solid, okay, on occasion, wide receiver 2, low wide receiver 2 types. But he never really quite lived up to, let's say, his contract, his expectations in Dallas, his fantasy expectations. Well, things have changed. Going to Cleveland now with Deshaun Watson. Look, I know a lot of people worried about Deshaun Watson being suspended half the season. I don't see that happening. We're hearing some of these civil cases are getting dismissed. Might not even be a problem. He might not even miss a game, right? That is a possibility. And even so, Cooper is the guy there. Look, Jarvis Landry hasn't been re-signed. They don't have anybody else at wide receiver. They might draft another wide receiver. They should draft another wide receiver. But Cooper is still going to be the guy. He's the alpha there. And I think this offense has shown that it is good enough with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. I think this offense could be pretty scary because they already got the running game. They've got a great offensive line with Watson and now Cooper. I think that he's going to see plenty of volume, but also he's going to be more efficient than ever. So I'm going to have a lot of Cooper. I'm probably going to have that Watson-Cooper stack quite a bit, especially in best ball. So Amari Cooper, yeah, I love him going to Cleveland, believe it or not. All right, let's keep going. Who else you got at wide receiver?
Well, there's 3 things you can count on in life, right? Death, taxes, and Mike Evans being a third-round pick every single year. It doesn't even matter. And look, when it looked like Blaine Gabbert or Kyle Trask was going to be his quarterback, sure, don't draft the guy. But Tom Brady is back. Everything's the same as last year. This is basically going to be the same offense. Oh, except for 2 big exceptions. No Antonio Brown, and Chris Godwin, coming off the ACL, is going to miss who knows how many weeks, and who knows how many weeks it's going to take him to get back to full health. So Mike Evans is going to be Tom Brady's number 1, number 2, number 3 target in this offense. Mike Evans is pretty much a lock to go over 1,000 yards every season he plays. We know he's got massive, massive touchdown upside with Tom Brady. And knowing that there's no Antonio Brown there, who they replaced with Russell Gage, and Chris Godwin, like I said, who knows how long he's going to miss, who knows how long it's going to take him to be back to his old self. Mike Evans should absolutely feast this year in this offense. Might be one of the best seasons he has ever had, and people still don't care. They just let him fall to the 3rd round like, oh, whatever, Mike Evans, 1,000 yards, who cares? Grab this guy every chance you can. One of the best early round values in fantasy football right now.
And probably the safest pick. I mean, even if you just get the same Mike Evans you've had for the last several years, what's wrong with that, right? At least you know what you're getting, and there's almost zero risk here, honestly. All right, now I know a lot of people are a little worried about the Jets offense, not fully buying in. We've had a lot of talk, Chris, on our Discord channel. A lot of people maybe not sold on Elijah Moore. Well, I'm here to tell you that I am. I've been a fan of Moore since before last year's draft. You know, maybe not the best landing spot there in the Jets, but I do think I saw what I wanted to out of him when he was on the field. Obviously missed some time. That whole offense was mad inconsistent, and quarterback play was a big part of that. But look, Zach Wilson missed some time too. He's a very young rookie, not just a rookie, but one of the younger guys that are quarterback in the entire league. I think he'll have a chance to really develop this year. That whole offensive unit as a whole can grow together. Michael Carter coming back, right? Elijah Moore, Corey Davis when he's healthy. I think this offense will be better than people give it credit for, but also Moore showed how efficient he is when he does get the ball, right? So this is a guy who had not just decent target share because, yeah, he plays mainly out of the slot, but he had a decent average depth of target at 11.7, so he could go deep too, and that's what you want to see, not just a ton of these short little dink and dunk passes. And I've said this before, he's good with the ball in his hands, and he didn't get a ton of chances last year, but when he did, he was efficient. Top 25 in yards after the catch per reception at 4.8. That means he can do things when he gets the ball. We saw that in college. I think we'll see more of it, and I think he's still being a little bit underappreciated just because, well, it's the Jets, which I get, but still, don't sleep on Moore. I think he's going to be a guy who's going to be a sneaky league winner this year. All right, one more wide receiver that you love.
Well, one of the biggest winners of free agency had to be Allen Robinson, going from that terrible Bears offense to the Rams offense, which is one of the best in the NFL. And there's two ways to look at Allen Robinson. You can either be on the side that says he's 28 years old, but did you see him last year? He's completely dust. He's done. Or you can be on the other side who said he was stuck in a terrible offense. He didn't want to play under the franchise tag, and he really, didn't put everything into last season, and he's going to be better this year. I'm on the latter side. 50% of the routes he ran last year were either slants or curls. That's all the Bears were asking him to do, was just run slants or curls. That is not Allen Robinson's strong suit. Sean McVay, this offense, they brought him here for a reason. They lost Odell Beckham to ACL, Robert Woods in Tennessee. They have plans for Allen Robinson. They are going to get the most out of him. Teams have to worry about Cooper Kupp. So Allen Robinson is just going to be out there running around, the DBs, number 2s, number 3 DBs. I think there's going to be a huge bounce back year for Allen Robinson. Again, this guy is only 28 years old. This isn't a 34, 33-year-old, Allen Robinson who's over the hill. He's still very young. He's in his prime. I think he's going to have a huge bounce back year, but people are scared to draft him because of what happened last year. This is a guy you get in the 6th, 7th round of drafts right now because people are just terrified to take him. Grab him when you can. He's going to bounce back. He's in the perfect situation. Big year incoming. I love Allen Robinson.
Couldn't agree with you more. Allen Robinson, look, it wasn't really his fault. That Bears offense really couldn't make too many people look good. Although it did make one receiver look good, and I'll tell you who I love that is still in Chicago, and that's Darnell Mooney. Now let me tell you why. First of all, it is clear that he had become the #1 receiver over Allen Robinson last year for all those reasons you just mentioned. By the way, shout out to Stinger for calling that. But also, look, this is a different Bears offense. Coaching staff is finally gone. Justin Fields is finally going to be the guy for the whole season. Had, his learning experience, and now he's a chance to develop chemistry with his new #1 guy, and that is Darnell Mooney. Look, I talked about how Elijah Moore was really good after the catch, 4.8 yards after the catch per reception. Well, guess what? Darnell Mooney was right there with him, 4.7. Okay, top 30 among all receivers in the NFL. So just imagine if he could do that last year in that Bears offense with Allen Robinson there, now that he's clearly the #1 guy and Fields is going to be better. Look, I'm not going to go so far as to say that he's the next A-Rob. He's going to be a top 10 guy or anything like that, but man, he needs to be treated with a little bit more respect based on his upside. So I'm going to grab Mooney a whole lot of drafts this coming year. I think he's a guy who could absolutely explode. All right, those are some of the wide receivers that we love. Let us know who you love. Who did we miss? Hit us up with a comment. Join us in the Discord, by the way, and you can join the conversation and talk football all season long. Check out the description, and you can get more information on that. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching.